All right, guys, it is out with the old and in with the new. The 292 out of the old farm truck has got to take a hike.
What? You can't do that.
We're getting rid of the old 6-cylinder and we're putting a new 6-cylinder that we got from Sparks Motors last week. That's a 6-cylinder Cummins, that is, into the 66 Chevy today. So this thing's getting a new drivetrain out of the 2013 chassis we got from Sparks Motors today.
Everything that happens now is happening now.
We're getting this thing a little closer to Alaska, baby. We got a lot of work to do and we've only got 3 months minus 2 weeks to do it. So let's get after it.
All right, well, we just gotta figure out how to get this in the shop as well as the chassis with the other engine on it. But after that, we're just swipping swapping, you know what I mean?
Swipping swapping. I'm gonna change the name
swap.
of this video to Swipping Swap.
Swipping swap.
We'll see you later, 292. You think we're making a mistake here, man? This is like point of no return.
No.
Good.
I don't even know what the hell this thing even is.
292, 6-cylinder.
Don't care.
One of Chevy's premier inline sixes of the 60s. They put this in a lot of vehicles, man.
Who convinced you that that was believable?
Wikipedia.
Fenders. And then a whole front clip. Yeah. So these have a center bushing right there. Yep. And then the front clip is mounted to the cab. And if I remember correctly, you could get the inner fender well and the fender and the grill and everything all in one shot.
It's from the door.
That way we can just lift the whole front clip off together and set it down on the other end of the shop.
Oh. So. Zipping that loose. That might be why it didn't start.
That's cool.
What took you so long, dude?
That right there.
It's all rusted in there.
All right, so the front clip's coming off the C60 here in a couple minutes, and then we're gonna roll the Cummins frame in pull that engine and trans out and transfer case. And then we are going to start building the engine mounts. For that, we're gonna do what we consider a semi-solid engine mount, which is basically a engine mount that's captured with 2 tabs and a polyurethane or Delrin bushing. We're gonna need to run down to Midnight 4x4, which is a local shop here, grab polyurethane bushing sets, and then that way I can draw up the new engine mounts for the Cummins before we put it into the C60. Yay.
Still like 50
History.
years old new.
It's 60 years old new.
I know, with the whatever you just said was probably replaced.
Oh,
Still probably like 50 years ago.
yeah. Fuel pump was replaced 45 years ago. Makes it the newest part on this truck. Wrap a rope around this. You pull on it. Your friend hits the gas at the same time while you jiggle the distributor cap, and that's usually what makes this thing start.
And you have to blow air into it at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if
Dude,
it's
what
not
happened
moving
there?
forward, you need to make sure you're blowing air, yeah. But yeah, that's how it starts. Safety glasses. Ow. We got the driveline disconnected, engine mounts undone. This engine's ready to come out, Sam, right?
Yeah, we're just there.
Sam's got a headache. Need to get some aspirin in him. Why do you have a headache? Do you your head?
Me and TJ got in a fight. I hit him with the forklift.
And now, you deal with the consequences.
So he grabbed a hammer and he hit me in the head with the hammer.
Frickin' even Stevens. Even Stevens. But yeah, once we get this strained, we should be good to pull the engine, though. Nice. Would you put this gas in your car?
No.
No? No. I think it's almost out of fuel.
Ooh, is it? Want me to flip it to the reserve tank?
40-gallon reserve tank. That's how much gas was in the C60. And it wouldn't start. I think we had a carburetor problem.
I don't think so.
All right, out of your way, Shane.
Am I excited?
Excited. Everybody's excited.
Well, then I get all excited. I'm like JoJo, the idiot circus boy.
I noticed I have a seat cover on this, and I can see the seat underneath it. My wife's grandpa was a guy that took care of his stuff. I'm wondering what that seat's like underneath it. Might be perfect. Might not be perfect. Might be perfect, but might not be perfect. Got a piece of carpet on the other end.
Right here?
Yeah. Just the way Grandpa would have wanted it. I'm gonna cut a neck hole in this and wear it as a poncho all the way to Alaska. Yeah, he'll like that. Come on down to Poncho Pete's. We got a clean 6-cylinder here, single, one owner, and I just changed the oil for you. What do you think?
Yeah, Sam and TJ just finished yanking this thing out, and yeah, we have a big blank open canvas, and it's awesome. They're gonna get everything all prepped out. Meanwhile, I'm gonna finish up designing the motor mounts and some sort of tranny cross member, and then we will rendezvous back over here, push this truck out, and roll the other truck in to get the engine and trans out of it. So basically we have to strip 2 trucks today. Strip one, then strip the other. So yeah.
All right, we're done stripping.
Done stripping.
All right, we got the engine, transmission, and everything ripped out of it. Actually, I'm gonna say Sam and TJ got the engine and transmission ripped out of it. We need to go get the motor mounts from Midnight 4x4. It's downtown, a few miles away. I'm gonna show you what we're taking. Ooh, the baby dump. All right, we've been asked to build this, and I understand a lot of people have been building these, and I don't want to build something just because it's popular. But what should we do to this? We want to do something that nobody's done. I understand that people have put like the big fat truck tires on it. I understand people have done a lot of things to it. People have put Hayabusa engines in it. But what should we do to it? I don't know. Let's go. It's fogging up in here, dude. Want to pass them?
Can't be having the man. Yeah.
Bye, Napa. Oh, we
no.
can't pass. We can't pass.
We can pass.
We can't pass. The turning lane ends, man.
Yeah, he may have won this one. He might have got me on that one. You know, I almost had you. I feel like I'm on like the first Fast and Furious right now.
Here's the deal. Dave Haslam brought this Kai truck to us. Little Tonka baby dump is what they call it in town. And asked us to build it. Now, there's been a lot of these things built online already. And I'm not the kind of guy that likes to jump on the bandwagon and just build something because it's popular. But here's the deal. He really wants us to build this.
I don't know what he wants to do with it.
Oh, we got a few ideas.
Feels like it's going through a whoop section, driving down the damn street.
Yeah, honestly, this is my first experience in a little Kai truck. I'm half impressed, half disappointed. It's a little bumpier, a little like tin can-ish, but it does have a lot of torque. Lots
no torque.
of torque.
Absolutely.
Absolutely no torque.
This thing has absolutely nothing. It
Nothing.
doesn't have space in the cab. It doesn't have torque. It doesn't have horsepower. It has windshield wipers that work. That's a plus.
Those things cruise, dude.
They're flying.
Fastest thing on this truck.
Really is. It has a stick shifter. It has a clutch. Not a good one. And little mirrors. And it goes from point A to point B. But this thing is by no means a performance machine. Parts. Love parts.
What do we need?
Just pushing sets.
You just got done telling me we need a bunch of shit.
Nope. I just got done saying we don't need a bunch of We just need bushing sets, my guy.
So fingers crossed before this episode's over, we'll have the engine and transmission mocked up into this frame. So stay tuned for that. Let's get to work.
looking at this thing and kind of weighing out pros and cons of, we've kind of been going back and forth anyways, between doing essentially a cab swap versus doing a drivetrain swap slash axle swap slash everything swap over to the C60 chassis. One of the things that looks like it's going to be, for me, looking at it right now, it looks like it's going to be way easier to basically take the C60 cab off, set it onto this chassis, and then put 2 straight frame rails out the back of this chassis. So basically cutting this right behind where the cab would be, and then doing frame sleeves. That way we have flat frame rails going from underneath the cab back. That's looking like the easier route to me. And the reason why I say that is because anytime you go to do a engine swap and start swapping everything over and axles, everything else, you run into, you know, having to plumb power steering lines, having to plumb this, having to plumb that, and mounting a steering box and doing all stuff, which is all easy stuff to do, but it just starts adding up a whole bunch of time. And I think keeping the regular Ram platform on the front of this thing and basically just upgrading it and going from there is going to be way quicker. It's going to streamline this thing out to where basically we set the cab down, we run our wiring, we mount a Hydro Boost, and go from there. I mean, our brake lines are here, everything's here. If we want to add different coil springs or lift it or add different shocks, I mean, we could use whatever is available for the Ram platform. It's just going to save a whole bunch of fab work, a whole bunch of plumbing time, a whole bunch of mechanical work, and I think it's going to be the best route to go. Basically, you would take the outer section that's welded to the inner section and pull it off, and then you would put a frame sleeve over top of it and run that out so you have a nice flat surface for the camper to sit on, just like it would have sat on the C60. So I think that's going to be our best route. I really do.
All right, right now we're just gonna rip off the cab off this old truck. We're gonna get ready to prep it and throw it on the new chassis. It's gonna be sick. I don't think it should be that bad. It's hard when the bolts are all rusty and old. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to pull out the seat, fuel tank as well. Fuel tank's right behind the seat. And grab the nut for the last bolt, but we're just about there.
That's crazy. We don't need that. Pull that out of there. 10 millimeter.
We don't need the oil dipstick?
Not there right now. We're putting a cap on. We can move the dipstick around. Take it off. So, I mean, basically this needs to tuck into here. Any of these GM swaps I've ever seen done to where they actually fit with the radiator are up against the damn firewall. So we're gonna come up and we're gonna come forward. See.
Surprisingly enough, this is the first time I've ever seen this done. Out of all the time I worked at Sparks Motors, we never did a cab off. Did you guys do one? We never did one at Sparks Motors. This is the first one that I've seen, and it's kind of interesting. What do you guys think? I think it's interesting.
My goal would be to get this thing to sit, the cab to sit as low as possible on the chassis though. So we might start hacking the firewall out. Just a box to put in and sheet metal it back in. Because I don't want the truck to be higher than it needs to be. You feel? Where are you guys at right now? Wood blocks. To go to Alaska.
Don't act like it's
Well, I mean, you've made the claim. You're gonna have to do it.
Yeah. Well, when I was making the claim, I never looked up the amount of miles, and I just assumed it was around 10,000. It's not 10,000 miles to Alaska.
No.
I think the furthest point's like somewhere around 3,500 miles. So it's like 3,500 miles there.
10,000 miles?
I'm gonna have to do a loop around the United States too.
Day 3 of the camper build, I'm gonna just drive it 10,000 miles. Like, where the hell did you come up with that number?
But I'm gonna make it happen, damn it, Aaron. Aaron's a can't doer. I'm a can doer. See? Eat it.
There's no sense in putting it in there to where it's so damn tight you can't work on it, or the cab has to sit higher. Yeah, it's just like, we'll just get it to where it works. Take off. Before we get the front clip fit, we'll take off the interchangeable cover here, Paul. That's right here in the ground. All right, I'm gonna lift it up so we can push that truck out.
The amount of trust that I have in Aaron right now is 100%. 100%. All right, I'm putting a lot of trust in Aaron that he knows best. Like today, we've made a few compromises. We decided to cut the frame off of the 66 frame and kind of marry it with the frame for the Ram, the 2500. And now we're cutting the firewall out to make room for the Cummins engine. Now, like I said, I trust Aaron in making the right call. Makes me a little nervous, but I trust this is going to come back together just like it came apart, really. You won't be able to tell from the inside of the cab, and you won't be able to tell when you open the cab, the engine compartment up. So we're going to cut that out.
All right, so we're done with this portion. The C60 cab is now onto what was 2013 Dodge Ram chassis. The cab mounts are all done. Sam just finished burning all those in. We got it sitting here on all 4 points. Now we can move along and start mounting other things and figuring the rest out before we blow it apart and do a whole bunch of crazy sheet metal work and other stuff. So basically the next step is we're gonna come back here and we're gonna end up cutting the frame and then putting essentially 2 new frame rails out the back that we're gonna build the camper off of. Well, the camper's built. We're gonna set the camper onto it and then rebuild the camper on it. But that's our next step. So for now, we at least got this swapped over and now we can start figuring all this stuff out. But it's a good amount of progress. The story originally was, we were gonna put that engine and trans into the other frame. I was gonna do custom 4-link suspension on the other frame, do all this other stuff, and it was like, you know what, step back a second. Let's just do a cab swap, back half of the truck, and be million light years times ahead of this build than we would have gone the other direction.
And have a modern front end.
And we have a modern front end. I think my 4-link would have been a little bit better than Dodge's radius arm design, but it is what it is. This will work just fine. We could buy off-the-shelf products and get it done, and it's gonna come out awesome still. So it just saved us so much time too. The steering box is mounted, everything's there, you know what I mean? Everything's there, so.
In the comments, let Sam know how well he did.
Sam did a good job today. Did a real good job. You know another thing Sam's doing too? He's been wearing a respirator every single day. You know what Cole hasn't been doing? Wearing a respirator, playing with hantavirus. Sam's in here just messing with like a little bit of metal and stuff. He's got a respirator on. Cole's out there playing with rat. No respirator, nothing. Just raw dogging it.
So yeah, let Sam know how good of a job he did.
He wants some love. He wants some
Sam
love.
wants that Sunday love.
That Sunday love. No, keep it in there. Keep that Sunday love in there.